This is a magnetic red dot sight that actually works and holds zero.
Magnets! Oh!
We recently made a reel with this red dot mount and it went viral. Some people were impressed, but most of them were very skeptical about it. So I decided to make this video to address some of the stuff. But first, what's this? This is a cat magnetic red dot mount that mounts on your handgun without any modifications. It's magnetic. What's on it right now, it's just a no-name brand red dot, but I guess you can mount anything you want on this mount. We got ours from JTI Trading for testing, and I will be honest with you, I didn't intend to do any content with it because, like many people, I assumed that it won't work, but it does. So here we are. Does it fly off the gun? No. The magnet is really strong, but also it interacts with this special rear sight that you replace the factory one with, and it just locks in and it's very secure. Even if you see, when I want to get it off, I need to get it off from a proper angle and I need quite a lot of force. Now, I've heard that they even tested it on a fully automatic Glock and you're still holding on. Additionally, what I didn't show in our reel, it has a locking feature. You see this hole over here? You put actually the adjustment Allen key for the red dot through here and it locks it to the side. You will see the hole goes through the mount and through the rear sight. So hopefully this explains all of the comments about people worrying that they will lose the red dot at the range day, or they will, I don't know, go hunting with it and lose it in the woods. You put the Allen key there and it just stays on. But I have to note that for all of our testing, we never used it with the Allen key. Just with the magnet. The other big concern was, does it hold zero? Well, yes, actually it does. From our limited testing, it seems to keep the same point of impact. Now, in the real, I only tested it to 7 yards with 2 5-round groupings, because honestly I thought it will not hold zero, but it did. So today we tested it again at 15 meters with 10 round groupings. Now, keep in mind, this is not my handgun, and the red dot is not completely zero to center. It's actually hitting to the right and up of center, but that doesn't really matter because I am using a consistent point of aim, and we are just looking at the size of the grouping and the position of the grouping, so the actual point of impact. So when I talk about if it holds zero, I'm talking about does it hold the same point of impact. So we're shooting one group, we remove the sight, we put it back on, and we shoot the second group, and we see if there's any change in the actual point of impact, if the group moved or not. And from our limited testing, it actually does that. You can see that the groupings did move a bit. The thing is that it's also my eyesight, my trigger press, not my gun. So I cannot definitively say if those groups moving a bit is actually a shift in point of impact or is just a normal variable and maybe my trigger press. But I did notice something strange, the grouping size. It felt a bit bigger than I would usually expect from a pistol with a red dot sight, especially at distance. But you know, it's not my handgun. I didn't think much about it until I read a comment under a reel which said that the guy obviously tested this sight on a certain pistol and then a properly mounted red dot on the same pistol, and he said that the grouping at 25 meters with this system was larger than with a normal red dot, which kind of seems logical because this still is a magnet and this is still not fully connected to the slide. So I guess maybe it's wobbling a bit or moving a bit or oscillating or whatever, and that is causing a bit bigger sizing of the group. But again, I've seen handguns that were less accurate than the groupings that I made today, so it is what it is, I guess. We did our own testing at 25 meters. These are 20 rounds. And as you can see, the grouping is much bigger than you would expect from any Glock handgun, especially with a red dot. Just to maybe prove the point, I will also shoot 10 rounds with the sights. Let's see what we get. Actually, it seems that this Glock with an aftermarket barrel is not as accurate as I expected. These are iron sights, nevertheless, but the grouping is not as small as I would expect. With my handguns, I can definitely do better than this at 25 meters. I don't know. Now that I can compare them, I wouldn't say that the actual red dot is much more inconsistent than iron sights. And this one, of course, this one was just me, trigger press. Okay, so we established that surprisingly this thing actually works, but why would someone buy this instead of a proper red dot mounted on a handgun? Well, obviously you have a lot of older handguns that do not have an optics cut, and some people just don't want to permanently change their slide, or they don't want to buy another pistol or whatever. This is a very convenient way to mount a red dot on your older handgun, or maybe you just want to try it out. Maybe you're not sure if red dots are for you. So it's a reversible modification. You can just replace the rear sight with something else, or you can just shoot it normally with this sight without a red dot. Maybe some people would even consider it like a backup. So if your battery dies from a red dot, you just remove it and shoot with sights. I don't know. There's multiple uses, but here we come to one reason why I think this will not be super successful as a product. It's the price. This thing is quite expensive, and I think this will hurt the sales. The issue that I see with it is that the customers that would want or need to have something like this are usually not the same customers that are willing to pay a lot of money for it. But serious shooters and competitors that will be willing to pay this price will probably rather go for milling the slide or just buying a new slide with optics cut already for almost the same price. Oh, and the red dot. It is actually functional, but it does not inspire so much confidence as the mount itself. So I'm not sure if they only sell this as a combo, or you can just buy the mount itself. But me personally, if I went for something like this, I would just go for a mount, and then I would mount my preferred red dot on it. Someone had a concern that the magnet is so strong that it could potentially interfere with the striker, and it just does not. We had zero problems with firing this handgun and operating this handgun, so I guess it's not an issue.